Genesis 1 verse 1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. This verse begins the biblical narrative, describing the creation of the world. Genesis 1 verse 2, the earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. This verse describes the initial state of the earth, chaotic and empty. Genesis 1 verse 3, and God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God's spoken word brings light into existence, separating it from darkness. Genesis 1 verse 4, God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God acknowledges the goodness of light and begins to organize creation. Genesis 1 verse 5, God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. This marks the first day in the creation narrative, distinguishing day from night. Genesis 1 verse 6, and God said, "Let there be an expanse between the waters to separate water from water." God creates a firmament to divide the waters. Genesis 1 verse 7, so God made the expanse and separated the water under the expanse from the water above it. This describes the formation of the sky above and the waters below. Genesis 1 verse 8, God called the expanse sky. And there was evening, and there was morning, the second day. The second day concludes with the naming of the sky. Genesis 1 verse 9, and God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." God organizes the waters, creating land and seas. Genesis 1 verse 10, God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters he called seas. God names the earth's features, acknowledging their purpose. Genesis 1 verse 11, then God said, "Let the land produce vegetation." God commands the earth to bring forth plants, marking the beginning of life on land. Genesis 1 verse 12, the land produced vegetation, plants bearing seed according to their kinds. The first signs of life appear on earth, creating a diverse ecosystem. Genesis 1 verse 13, and there was evening, and there was morning, the third day. This concludes the third day, with land and vegetation established. Genesis 1 verse 14, and God said, "Let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night." God creates celestial bodies for signs and seasons. Genesis 1 verse 15, "Let them be lights in the expanse of the sky to give light on the earth." Stars and celestial bodies are created to illuminate and govern the sky. Genesis 1 verse 16, God made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day and the lesser light to govern the night. This refers to the sun and moon. Genesis 1 verse 17, God set them in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth. The placement of the sun, moon, and stars provides light and order in the cosmos. Genesis 1 verse 18, to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. The celestial bodies have distinct roles in dividing time and light. Genesis 1 verse 19, and there was evening, and there was morning, the fourth day. The fourth day concludes with the establishment of time and seasons. Genesis 1 verse 20, and God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth." God creates marine life and birds, filling the sky and waters. Genesis 1 verse 21, so God created the great creatures of the sea and every living thing with which the water teems. The diversity of marine life is established. Genesis 1 verse 22, God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and increase in number." God commands the creatures of the sea and sky to multiply and fill their habitats. Genesis 1 verse 23, and there was evening, and there was morning, the fifth day. The fifth day closes with the creation of creatures in the sea and air. Genesis 1 verse 24, and God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds." God creates land animals, adding to the earth's biodiversity. Genesis 1 verse 25, God made the wild animals, the livestock, and all creatures that move along the ground. God's creation of animals includes every type and kind. Genesis 1 verse 26, then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness." Humanity is created in God's image, set apart with a unique purpose. Genesis 1 verse 27, so God created mankind in his own image. Male and female he created them. This verse establishes the equality and value of both genders in God's creation. Genesis 1 verse 28. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and increase in number." God grants humans the responsibility to populate and steward the earth. Genesis 1 verse 29. Then God said, "I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth." God provides sustenance through the plants on earth. Genesis 1 verse 30. And to all the beasts of the earth, I give every green plant for food. God's provision includes all living creatures in his creation. Genesis 1 verse 31. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. God's assessment of creation highlights the perfection and goodness of everything made.